all spring training was sold out, it said.
Wow.
Well, today, does anybody know what today's date is?
17th.
17th.
Okay,
Doc Day.
it's March 17th. It's Robin Bright Day. And she's going to be making a presentation on color. And I've hit record. It's 3:04. We can
And
chat.
I'm gonna have pictures of green to represent what day it is. St. Patrick's Day.
And
I'm
there
the one wearing green.
and no snakes, right?
No, only, there's only one insect in all of it.
Well, there's also, I think, a lizard or something, but
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot the lizard. Yeah.
Yeah.
A snake in it and a lizard. That's right. Thank you. And I'm going to say how wonderful Steve did helping me pull it together, because once I had all the images together and all of the slides and stuff like that, I sent them all to him and he worked his magic. So thank you, Steve.
oh, you're welcome. It was my pleasure. I enjoyed doing it. And so,
Where's Amy?
yeah, where's Amy?
Yeah, and Catherine's in Tahoe.
I talked to Amy yesterday. She said she was going to be here with bells on.
Yeah. let me-
I'm gonna send her a quick text,
Oh,
because you're gonna close the
Go
door,
ahead.
right?
I was just starting to do the same thing.
Well, while we're waiting, I just want to remind everybody that the Creative Arts is open. You know, I posted the announcement on our Facebook page a couple of weeks or so ago, but it's also on the Long Beach VA's Facebook page about the Creative Arts. So you can submit it, all the instructions, everything's there. And
So, is the photography class submitting through you and Catherine or directly to,
directly to Liz.
and is it the same forms?
It's gonna be, well, actually, it's gonna be digital. So you'll be sending the digital,
But they're gonna have to fill out the forms that go with it?
that will probably be digital too.
Yeah, I know I'm not in the running of this anymore, but
Right.
it might be something that would be good to show one of these, before the due date, to have those forms on Zoom, and you could like run through them with people. Because
do
it's daunting. Remember?
There is no form that is not daunting.
And particularly with the VA.
In this age, this is the first time we won't be doing quote, quote, paperwork. We'll be doing it online. So you'll be submitting it online. But yeah, I'll check that out and I'll get
Yeah,
back.
there I see a roadblock.
Hey, yeah, Robin's waiting for you.
That would be a good
Don't make her
Friday.
feel I'm waiting for her.
Well, I don't want to take the blame.
And if she's late, block her out.
Hey, Linda,
Yes,
that would be, filling out forms would be a good Friday exercise for us.
yes, yes. We'll work on that. I'm the worst with forms. Yeah. Good job.
Well, because a lot of those forms is redundancy. So unless they've changed it, you could
Well,
fill
that's
out.
what I have to find out.
Yeah, you could fill out like all of Liz's information and all of that kind of stuff and the address and all the crap that they require, and
Mhm.
then could send it out in a blanket email, and everyone could then just have, 55% of the forms already filled out, which is what we used to do when we were doing hard copies.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion.
I'll get back on that. I'll get back with y'all on that.
Okay. Is she coming, Steve?
Yeah, she said she's setting up. Give her a minute, she said.
Okay. I like your background, Steve.
Oh, you like the African eagles flying in Southern California?
Yeah. Now that's a
That's a-
custom background, right? So how do you do that?
Well, I just, you can, it says to add, and there's a plus for adding images, and you can just search the
Oh.
directory and add images to your virtual background.
Oh, okay. I'll retry that.
And I had fun with this because it's so rare to see African eagles in Southern California. Doug's our bird expert. He'll tell you how rare that is.
Very rare. Except in
They
your
had,
images.
they had a long commute.
Well,
What's the wingspan?
you know, speaking of that, I was walking the dogs this morning and I saw them coming too late, but a pair of Canadian geese flew over, and it's amazing. They fly, they're so synchronized, and they're kind of like, they're so elegant and smooth, and they're too big and bulky. At first I thought like fighter planes. I said, no, they're more like B-52 bombers. You know? I love watching them in flight. They've got a nice wingspan and
Were they in their traditional V formation?
well, this just usually when I see them, there's a lot more than two. This just happened to be a pair, but yes, a lot of times they're in a V formation or
When I was, can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When I was working in Chatsworth, I saw two V formations go over. This was a long time ago, though, maybe 30, 40 years ago.
Oh,
I
hi,
was
Amy.
Hi, I was out in the yard.
Good to see your face.
Thank you for calling me. I would have forgotten. I kept thinking today was Tuesday.
I think that's happening to most all of us.
It's like,
It's
how
fun being
much more
retired. Isn't
COVID
it?
can we take? Kevin, what'd you say?
It's fun being retired.
Yeah.
It's also the curse of the daylight savings time
Yeah.
Oh,
transition.
Yeah, I got lots of reasons to screw up the time.
all right. Any more? Okay, as announcements other than next Wednesday, a week from now, is when we're going to be at the Gardens at 11. This Friday, I guess we're going to do a review, and we have a lot of postings to review. People have been posting like mad. I love it. And maybe some forms from Linda. And then I'm going to plan on 2 weeks from today to incorporate some of the things that Pam Grove Fry, my cousin, talked about on Friday on what she does with Photoshop, what she calls actions in Photoshop, and or you could call them presets. Maybe a little bit about that and more, and also have more I want to start covering on layer masking. I'm going to move to layer masking with Photoshop, which I think everyone's going to find that's amazing what you can do there. So that's where
I have a comment that I'd like to make.
yes.
We were talking about last meeting, taking old slides and digitalizing them into digital form. So I surfed on B&H photo video site, and I found that it's three things that need to be put together. There's a little rail and then a attachment on the end for slip the slide in. And the only thing is the cost. And I'm thinking I have to either rob a bank or make a killing in the stock market, because they want over $700 for those three little things.
No.
wow.
Uh,
There should be some other things out there that you can, just to scan the slides to digitize them, right?
Yeah, let's
Right.
look at Lawrence knows about this.
Uh,
Lawrence?
This is the drive that I use to scan. It's, I can scan it to 4K, any slides.
Yeah, but
Oh,
how big are
Put them
they?
in these holders.
Oh,
Your question is
And-
how big are the slides or how big are the images after he scanned them?
the images.
Oh, they're huge.
They're big.
But I just slide it in and scan them.
And
Oh.
then
How
you
long
send them to Photoshop and size them the way you want them to be and crop them?
Yes, I just scan them into Lightroom
Okay,
and then work on them. And usually you have to dust them because no matter what you do, slides are old.
Right.
Kodachrome works fantastic color-wise. Ektachrome, you have to color correct them because usually they're very blue and the saturations, but you can bring them back in Photoshop.
Mhm.
Well,
And Kodachrome was-
why don't we make a session out of this, Lawrence, with you? Because we're taking away from Robin's presentation time. Now it's already 3:15 or 6:15 for her, I guess, or whatever.
yeah,
I was just answering that question.
You were-
yeah, no,
thank you,
and,
We
I
are
think maybe
interested. Can you? do-
Alan would, yeah,
And
Yeah.
I do offer, bring in some slides that are important to you and I will scan them for you. Just have a
Like a thumb drive?
yeah, give me a drive to record them on.
That's really nice.
Oh, that's great. You can scan directly to a thumb drive.
A thumb drive, yeah.
Oh, that's
Just give me a
great.
thumb drive and I will scan it to them.
Sounds good.
Well,
Awesome.
Maybe Linda and Catherine, you can get Lawrence to commit to talk about that one time for us as one of our lectures. That
Yeah,
would be really interesting.
that would be good. We may have somebody, we may have a guest speaker for the 26th coming up. I haven't gotten back to them, but I just got a notice that he's available. So
Great.
talk more about that
All
later.
right. Okay, Robin,
hi,
take
okay,
her away.
okay. Steve, share screen.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So as you know, Seeing the World Creatively has been the moniker that we started this part of the class out with when Linda and I took over the creative aspect of this photo club. This is the image that we use as our front screen that was taken by Larry. So this is the 2021 session. And today, next screen, I decided that we needed to focus on two different elements of design, and that those are color and texture. So good, that's good. So there's been some talk in the class, and I've heard a lot of people saying, they don't like the fact that there are rules, that breaking the rules, that there shouldn't be any rules to art. And so I came up with this. So there are no real rules that you must follow or learn how to see. But what I want to do is share some principles and techniques that are designed to help you see. And I've spoken many times about the fact that my father thought he was a photographer, and that amateurs in their haste to record an image will end up with pictures that have too many points of interest, that lack a single focus, and subsequently causes confusion and alienates the eye. So we've all been in a situation where we've gone to galleries and looked at images, or sitting there with your dad in a slideshow, and of which, after halfway through, half the audience is asleep. So the end result in studying these techniques will hopefully challenge the conservative way of seeing that often can lead to a dull and ordinary photograph. Okay, so I've talked many times about what makes a striking image, and I'm just going to keep on that because everybody's doing so well doing that. But there are some simple things that you can keep in mind when you're taking your shots. So what makes a striking image? Well, the first is a commonplace object that's composed in the simplest of ways. This is a Bob Zambini image of a rope. And as you can see, you know, it is, besides the blue thing on the right, whatever that is, he has singled into one theme. We talked to him actually, or I did, a year or so back when he submitted this image and it was part of the show, about why he didn't remove that the blue cord, because to me it would have I find my eye veering to the right, but everybody's eyes are different. So this is a commonplace object. Next. Obviously you want it to be limited to one single subject. It needs to be organized and without any visual clutter. So in a case like this, the blurred background totally makes the trumpet flowers your single interest and focus. Okay, next. So a clear, concise direction. This is a side of a barn. It was a wine barn that I took in Harmony. And my direction here was lines and construction. And I love the way the curved line runs into the roof. Next. So a successful photography does rely on order. And as you can see in this image that Amy took, yeah, there are additional flowers and stems and things like that going on in the background, but your eye is drawn 100% to that single daisy there. So she has relied on order and the order of the picture to make this one work. Next. This is one of Stephen Foreman's images that I've always absolutely adored. To me, I called it a suspended branch, but just the way he made the black background on it, you're totally focused on that piece of foliage, and so it makes a successful image. Okay, so today we're going to discuss those two elements. And they will help you to visualize your work and put thought behind your images. And I put these tools will help in that process in parentheses because they're really not tools, they're guidelines. Next screen. So just some verbiage. Visualization is a photographic term and process that we use by Ansel Adams. And to imagine the final print and convey using the tools at your disposal, whether it be Photoshop or Lightroom or whatever you're using, that the end result of that visualization is seen. And what emotion do you feel when you look at a subject, and how can you convey that emotion? Those are both theories by Ansel Adams. And then the last quote, the essential quality of a photograph is the emotional impact that it carries, by Elliot Porter. So what if you haven't figured out, I'm going with a little bit of a common theme here. Let's go to the next screen. and that is emotion in art. And I say this because of the uncertainty of the world these days. I thought we should decide or concentrate on two of the elements of design that convey the most emotions, since we're all feeling them, and that would be color and text. Okay, thanks, Steve. So to become an effective color photographer or photographer of color, you must study and comprehend the visual effect that a color and the emotional attachment that it will convey. And I'm going to go through all of the colors of primary and secondary, and actually tell you what emotion you're conveying when that color is predominant in your photography. Most color photographers are landscape, nature, and street photographers. And regardless of where you find your inspiration, I'd like everybody to make a goal to shoot compositions that first and foremost say color. Next one. And so here are two examples that I'm going to show you of what the basis of this image is: color. Nothing but, there's some textures in there and patterns in there, but what you should see when you see this picture or image of mine is just a riot amount of color. Next screen. This is in Steve's backyard, I think. Yes?
No, it's in San Luis Obispo.
Oh, okay. Well, he came a long way. And so, you know, what I see here is color, color, color. And even though you predominantly used blues and purples and a spattering of greens, once again, but I see color in this image. So let's go to the next screen. Okay. So color is an obvious element. It's everywhere. It's how you interpret the emotion to your viewer. Next screen. And like I said, we're gonna focus on the primary and secondary colors and not concentrate on tertiary. And so we'll be talking the primaries of red, of yellow, of blue, and the secondly then green, purple, and orange. Okay, go ahead. So as I said, all colors evoke strong emotions, and we're going to go into texture in a minute, but we use color in our emotions in everyday language. We say, I'm green with envy. She is feeling blue. I got the red carpet treatment, or he was rewarded the Purple Heart, or that man, he makes me see red. He's in the bedroom, by the way. Next screen.
Oops, there.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So colors are also referred to by temperature. Texture, which we're also going to discuss today, is not. But colors that are referred to by temperature are red, yellow, and orange. They're associated with the sun and referred to as warm colors. And thus that will make you have warm emotions. And then blues, greens, and purples are associated with water and shadows, and they are referred to as cool colors, which is a totally different emotion. Okay, next screen. So this is a little exercise that Lonnie did for me, and I realized that it's a few years old, but I use it over and over again because it truly explains what I'm saying about what an image looks like, and with a different color focus, what kind of emotion you will feel. So this is the first image, and he calls it Maiden Voyage. And just so you know, Doug, this is a composite that that he did. So it's several images all rolled into one. And this was the way he originally produced the image. And so then I had conversation with him and said, you know, I'd love to see what this image would feel like with additional tones or different tones applied to them. So each one of the images we're getting ready to show you will give you a different feeling. The first, the color blue. So somebody chime in and tell me with the color blue, before I go into the emotions, what do you feel when you see this picture?
Unnatural.
Unnatural?
It feels cold
Cold.
Yeah.
and more distant for some reason. The ship seems more distant.
I thought the ship was going the other way and somebody corrected me. Yeah, it makes me feel like it's very forlorn.
Depressing.
Either she doesn't want that man to come that's on that ship, or or you know, she something like that. But so that the color of this image makes me feel some depression as well. Next image.
Longing.
Yeah. So in green, is there any emotion that makes you get from this?
Apprehension.
Is it?
Apprehension.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's just eerie.
It's very eerie. Yeah. And green, as which we're going to go through, is a color of nature. But the other side of the downside of the color green are things like envy and illness. And I think that's conveyed here as well. Next image. Okay, brown is not one of the colors that we're going to study because we talked about we're doing tertiary. First, we're not doing tertiary colors, but to me, this is a black and white image that he converted to the sepia tone. So what does that make anybody feel like?
It feels like historic.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so it does give you kind of a nostalgic
Right. Yeah.
kind of a feeling. Let's go to the next one. And purple. To me, this is a very, very strong emotional piece. I mean, it makes me feel very depressed. And depression is one of the emotions that comes from the color purple. Also, the color purple is regal it stands for regal. It stands for Christianity. So, but as far as emotion goes, I think this takes me over in a depressing vein. All right. Let's talk about the primary colors. So the first primary color we're going to discuss is red. So red is a passionate and powerful color. It's the color of love, but it's also the color of rage. It's a symbol of power, i.e. the power tie that Donald Trump wears a lot. And it's also the color of blood. Interestingly enough, in photography, or when you're doing research for, presentations like this, red is one of the hardest colors to actually find unless it's a flower. So finding images that are blood or that feel, the rage is a difficult thing to do. So this might be a fun journey for somebody to say, hey, I'm going to take on the color of red and see what I can find to show that. Linda, Catherine was going to do the weekly challenge. I had sent it to her last week, and it was on color and texture, or color and showing the emotions. I didn't see it on Facebook. Do you know?
No, I thought we were gonna be doing it after this class, but
Oh, you got it then? I sent her the whole information to write it up.
okay. Well, she's probably gonna forward it to me.
Okay.
I'll get it. out.
Anyway, so let's look at some red. This was done by Anthony Cooksey. And I like the way he has this framed. Most people would do this as a landscape versus a portrait, but I think the way the flowers is in this image draws attention to me. So the color of red. Next picture. This is Amy's, and Amy did a study on berries, red berries. Next image. Stephen Foreman, you are in China, right? Hello? Did Stephen Foreman go away?
He might be muted.
Mute it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's from China.
That's from China. I love this image. Yeah, it's a great red. All right, the next image. That's when Amy Myers drugged me to a nursery in the rain. and then she deserted me in the rain and went to buy all of her things that she needed. And we're standing in line for her to check out. And I don't know, the woman that was behind the counter, and I have a red camera, by the way, a red Nikon. And she said to the woman, just out of the blue, don't let that little red camera throw you for a loop, because she can take some good pictures with that. And I almost wanted to take my red camera and dye it black. All right. And as you can see in that picture, it was raining. It was raining.
No,
That wasn't Amy's spray bottle?
No,
That's from
God
spray
did
bottle.
that. God did that to me. All right, next. Oh, and red means love. And there's the red rose done by Steve Grove. Next. And I don't exactly know what this is, but I was searching for reds. And so Steve sent me this, and tic-tac-toe X wins, right? I think this was in China as well.
No, it's Yorba Linda.
Oh, God.
It's in a
I keep meaning to go there.
playground.
Before now, I've had no desire. So now I will. All right, let's move on to the color blue. All right, so blue is the color of infinity. It's the color of the sky. It's the color of water. It's soft, it's calming, it's nurturing, and it's sensitive and peaceful. Next. So I love this.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, this is Steve Grove. On obviously, captured that wave. And I don't know, was that guy surfing or body surfing or?
No, I think that was
boogie board.
boogie boards.
Mm,
And yeah, to correct, that's not me. I was the photographer.
yeah, I know. Well, you have to grow a beard, but
and he just hitting the, so there's some sand there because he just hitting the shoreline.
and to me, the sand adds so much to this image.
Yeah.
And it's also an amazing, image of textures that we're going to go in and talk about. Okay, blue. Let's go on. This is, I call this silhouette. And this is Amy's image. And just the placement of where the sun is coming through on the right-hand side in that lone tree. And it makes the color of the sky, but it gives you a feeling of infinity. Like it could just go on. Next. This is Steve's picture of a woman in a boat. He doesn't know where it is.
Yes, I do, because I went back and looked for it. And
You didn't know yesterday.
yeah, I know. This was the same trip that Stephen Foreman was with.
Yeah, the
And
water.
we went to this theater, and it's hard to imagine. It's like the Chinese version of Cirque du Soleil, in a way. A massive stage, about 3 times the size of the one like the Orange County Performing Arts Theater, and huge audience, and just
Huge.
huge. And then up on the side, there would be things going on. So it's kind of like Las Vegas. If you go to Cirque du Soleil at Las Vegas, they use almost every part of the theater.
Yeah.
And it was very similar, and it was fully attended. It was a fun night.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I just love the whole thing. And I like where to me, the horizon line is in 2 different places. I don't know how that can be, but anyway, it makes me want to go there. By the way, if you ever do go to Las Vegas and we ever get to do that again, which I know we will be, go see Ocean. And that's an amazing show that Slay puts on there, and it's all done in water. Okay, let's look at the next blue. Okay, that one happens to be mine. And I took it in Catalina from the boat as a, obviously the clouds were rolling in. And then lastly, this is
That's nice.
Doug Bucklew. And so the color blue is very dominant in this image as well. Anybody have any questions with any of this so far? My question is, are those 2 little rocks, or are those
They're
fish?
dolphins.
Dolphin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I
Wow.
think there's
Okay,
3.
so the one that has the 2 fins is 2.
2 dolphins.
Two
That is
side by
cool.
side. There's actually 3 dolphins in the picture.
Yeah.
That is cool. Very nice. Thank you. And to everybody, when you see all of these images, I hope you don't mind, I pull them off your Facebook pages and stuff. So anyway, or, some of this actually is back to 2017. But when we first started, not when we first started the show, but it would have been back when Linda and I started doing it more digitally, and we could make these slideshows. So yellow is light, it's playful, it's creative and warm, but yellow can also represent cowardice and illness. So let's look at some yellow. So this is Kevin. Great shot, Kevin, and with the B in the center, and the dimension of the depth perception on this is very nice, and I love the placement of the subject as well. Next is Amy's. It's kind of a study of yellow.
Wow.
There's a
Yeah,
story
nice.
about this one too.
Milky Way.
Yeah.
Is that mustard?
No, it's the Milky
That's
Way.
Yeah, it's mustard. And that was a trip that Amy and I took to Cayucas, and
So it's a
the
hillside of mustard, and then this brush, I was shooting through the brush.
yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Meanwhile, we left the car running with the ignition on, and we both went off and took pictures and came back and went, oh shit. The car we didn't even shut the doors. you know, so the car was on and doors wide open. And we went different ways on the side of the 405.
Wow, you're lucky.
All right, let's look at another yellow.
Wow.
Steve Grove.
Nice.
Pretty.
I believe that's a plumeria starting to bud. Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And then one of my other favorites, this is Doug Bucklew. And I realize it reads a lot of green, but to me, the predominant color that I get through this background is the yellow. So when you're challenged to do Wednesday's challenge of isolating a color, doesn't mean you can't have other colors within it, obviously. Okay. And then there's the lizard.
Oh, yeah.
Barbara, always been one
Wow.
of my favorite images of yours.
Oh,
Yes, nice.
that was behind glass. So it
That was what?
he was behind the glass, I thought.
Which
It
I
was-
think the fact that you were able to capture him without any glare on him
Right. and it
is
must have
pretty
been-
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so cute.
very nice. Okay. And now we'll go into the secondary colors. Obviously, they're made by mixing two primary colors together. So those will be green. So dominant color in nature, but it doesn't really give you a feeling of harmony or enfolds you as far as like warmth. It's a symbol that's a refreshing, gives you a feeling of being refreshed, renewal, recovery, which is why a lot of the walls in hospitals are yellow, are green. But it's also a color of fertility and growth, but a color of seasickness and envy. Remember when we were talking about Lonnie's maiden voyage, the one in green, I think that speaks to that image, seasickness and envy, but it's the color of ET, and it truly has no temperature. Okay, so this was taken by Doug Bucklew, and I was kind of felt great about the challenge that was a few weeks ago, that everybody was to take something of spring and the budding of spring. And so I got some great images for this class, next classes anyway, but I love this image by Doug Bucklew. Next picture. Okay. Once again, Barbara, great job. And it just speaks green. And I imagine wherever you took this, that those blooms are pretty amazing right now.
Yeah, my
Because this-
orange, it's my orange
Yeah?
tree in the yard. Yeah,
Very nice.
thank you.
There's the other bug.
Oh,
Yeah. And this is Steve Grove. Next. Also, Steve, this is an oldie but a goodie.
mm,
I've
I
used
read
this.
somewhere, excuse me, I read somewhere that green is the color that we perceive more values of.
And that's why it's the color of money.
It's the color of what we see most.
Nature.
Yeah. It's nature. It is the predominant color and the predominant color in nature.
And this is a park, I guess you would call it a park. Amy can maybe have a better description of it, but this is in Havana.
Cuba?
Park.
Cuba?
We were
Havana.
on that big tour with all the old cars. And we stopped for a minute. Is that,
I can't. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No, but it may have been.
it's so
Yeah.
tropical. It just has all that the vines are amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll just have to rename it because it's clearly not China then.
You assume every picture I have is China.
Yes, I do. It's China or Africa.
Or Australia.
Stay tuned for my next presentation of Africa. Oh, and then John, this is a great green image. And what are all the little bubbly things? Are you still there with us?
I wish I knew. I don't know. This was just a little pond in a botanical garden. And
Wow.
I don't know
I
why.
would say those are the things that are in the water sticking out of the water,
Mm-hmm.
just breaking the surface.
Mhm.
Great
Very
shot.
nice.
Great shot.
Great.
It is. Okay, so orange is the only color that is also a fruit. But it also represents heat, fire, and the sun. And it stands for lust, health, and vigor. First screen. Now, Barbara, I love this because, but it speaks very well to me of orange, but it might speak to other people as more pink and yellow, but the predominant color that I get is orange. And I love this image. It's a great study in color. Okay. This is sunrise on the Outer Banks. There's a photographer on the amateur photographer on the Outer Banks that just shoots a lot. He's a big fisherman. He's a big guy fisherman. And anyway, he does publish his work on the Outer Banks Voice. And so he's a friend of my brother's, and he sent this to me, and I just love it.
Beautiful.
Yes, nice.
Nothing like the beach. Okay. And then I love this one that is done by Kevin. And Kevin, you took that with the challenge for flowers or for the spring. So that's a great job there. And it's very single focus and one central theme. Next. This is an artist that shows up quite frequently on the phototherapy group, which is another one of the photography groups that I guess I could say I audited. I don't really ever post it on there, but it's a great orange picture. And then lastly, the only color of fire I could find, Steve took this for me a few years back when I needed a picture of fire.
And that's in Malaysia, by the way.
Oh, God.
I went a long way to
I
get
recognized it, yeah.
I went a long way, Robin, to get that picture for you.
It really looks like Monrovia to me.
All right,
Whoops, sorry.
next. So violet and purple. And this is, once again, a color that's very hard to find, purple, that is other than a flower. But I found a few, and so here we go. The first one is
great.
John Boland.
Love
And John, one of the things that also intrigues me about this image is it's also a frame within a frame.
Oh, that's right.
Because, yeah, it's framing that palm tree in the center.
And we want to know where again.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
this was Palm Springs or Palm Desert. It was the Desert X show 2 years ago.
So when you post an image, could you once you posted the image and then go up into comments and say where it was?
I normally do,
helpful.
yeah. I try
Robin, he
to.
does.
Mhm.
He just, John, you can put your description right with your photograph. You don't have to go back and add it into comments. If you put in, we'll say,
Oh.
what are you thinking? You type it out and then you add your picture and it will all be together right
Ah,
under the picture.
okay, I didn't know that. I'll try to learn how to do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're all learning. I think
Yes,
Steve told me yesterday how to do that.
That's cool.
That's pretty.
and this is Kevin. Kevin's water drops and a great color orange now, purple, sorry. But also take a look deep and see what's in that drop of water. It's a
Reflection.
tree, a reflection of a tree. Does anyone else see a reflection of a tree in the middle of that water drop?
I don't know, were you doing it outside, Kevin?
Yes, it was actually at night at the Tuttle Club event.
Steve, is it able to zoom in on that any?
No,
Okay,
not at PowerPoint.
all right, let's go to the next one. Also, this is from Kevin. There's lots and lots of different shades of purple / fuchsia. And this is a more blue purple. But I love the placement of the flowers slightly to the left of the center. And it makes me feel like spring. The next,
Wow.
and those are my flowers from back when I lived in Long Beach. We don't have those here. Right now, we don't have any. Except for the orchids on my tables. But we're gonna get there. I'm told 3 or 4 weeks and I'll be able to start planting a garden or something. All right, and then lastly, well, there's 2 lastlies. This is also Steve. I love the texture in this as well. And we've got, is it in Yorba Linda?
Yeah. At what's that nursery that's common everywhere? There's one near
Armstrong.
Armstrong. Yeah, this was at Armstrong. And that they were actually growing out that direction. That's not tilted. I don't know why.
It's nice. I love it.
Me too. Yeah,
All
great.
right, next. And then the jellies, purple jellies. That's mine. And I actually was missing some purple images and wanted to try and find an image, something that wasn't a flower besides John's. And so this was blue. And I just went in Photoshop and changed it. Amy said I should be very proud of me.
Yeah,
Ah,
very good.
All right. So let's talk about texture. Now, Mr. Grove, you've done mostly all of my background, well, the backgrounds, if there is a background, you've done that. So tell us about what this background is, and obviously it's texture, and where did you get the image from?
Well, I've been making a library of backgrounds that I can use, and so I have a lot that are my own, where they're like tree bark or walls or brick walls or different things. But I also bought a set of about, well, I can't remember now how many is in the set, either 60 or 80 backgrounds. And there's one, and they're in different sections. There's grunge, paper, wood, metal. And this is in the paper section, and it's crumpled paper, basically. So
And then is it just like that, or did you have to go in and and make,
I
the
suggest that it was.
contrast it up or what?
I used it just as it was given. I could easily make this a lot more harsher or whatever. And
Uh-huh.
I did change the background because you went from soft texture to hard texture. And I realize now I probably I should have used the same one, but like you said, I could have bumped up I could have used dehaze, clarify. I could have increased the contrast and made what I picked for soft texture, I could have made the same image for hard. I chose something different. It didn't quite have the effect I was looking for, but since I had already been up 18 hours helping you.
Oh, you're terrible.
No, I'm joking. I wasn't. Oh.
Well, I can tell you that this presentation cost me about 24 hours of my life, but that's okay because it's cold here and I got nothing to do. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, right. This is by an artist called Adam Watson, and I call it Looking Through a Textural Screen. But you can faintly see, in behind the whatever this is, maybe it's a grapevine or something like that. I don't know what it is, but I just love this because to me it's just dreamy. It's very emotional. But it's peaceful too. So right now I'm going to switch gears from color, unless anybody has any questions. Okay, so no element of design is more capable of exuding deep emotions than texture. Let's look at the first screen. So when we use texture to convey emotion every day, like I'm having a rough day or soft touch, he has a sharp mind, it was a dull movie or a sticky mess. We can't do without those descriptions in our everyday life. We use them constantly. So like the color, the element of color, which is everywhere in our lives, we need to learn what textures mean in our lives too, and how it portrays to our photography. So a woman's soft voice may arouse a delicate or vulnerable feeling unless she's screaming. And, a man's gravelly voice might elicit fear or feelings of aggression. And this was a quote I took by Brian Peterson. And he wrote the book, Learning to See the World Through Creativity. And he has also done several other books, like he's done close-up photography. And so it might be something you might want to look up and be of interest to you as far as a book that you could look at to get more information on what we've been discussing today. So let's go to the next screen.
Well, before you do that, I want to, when I read that, as you know, my wife is Chinese and she watches a lot of Chinese drama on Netflix. And in the Chinese drama, the women's voices are so soft, so delicate. Everything they say, it's so dreamy, it's mesmerizing. And then the man comes into the picture.
I watch a lot of those too. They're fascinating.
And do they have subtitles?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I have subtitles.
Mhm.
What channel is this?
I think
You can find them everywhere. They're on Netflix, they're on Prime.
they're on
watching them
TV, yeah.
YouTube.
Mhm.
So anyhow,
Oh, okay.
let's move on.
Yes. So the key to see and capture texture in your images is also dependent on light and the time of day. So it is best seen on a sunny day or and early in the day, in the morning or late at day, when the image that is the textural subject is best displayed because it's side lit, and that will give you the depth of that texture. So, and it adds dimension to your images. It's seldom done well if backlit or front lit, because as you know, if you backlight an image or you catch something that's backlight, the faces of your subject or the details that are in a brick or the details that are in a branch will be washed away because of the light that's coming from behind. And that is the same as in a front lit picture. Let's go on and we'll talk about soft textures. And the emotions are warm, the warm emotions. It's very restful. It can make you have feelings of vulnerability, but it's also more peaceful and it's emotion. Let's go next. So this is Steve Groves. Now, I'm gonna guess on this one. This is South Carolina.
No, it's in. No, I'm
You're
sorry.
Belinda?
Yes, it's in a graveyard. It's
Oh.
a graveyard in Orange County. It's fenced off. You can visit it once a week.
Okay. But it shows the soft textures, but it also shows some, the lines that are a little bit more what you would call harsh. But you also see that it is backlit. We see the lacy texture of the leaves, but if you take a look at the bark on the branches and on this tree, that because it is backlit, they fade to almost a dark silhouette. Next screen. This is taken by Catherine, and Steve and I agreed we changed the orientation of it because she had it as a portrait and changed it to a landscape, and I call it Lace Rocks. So
Is it a dress?
it is rocks.
Oh,
It's a
for
rock.
real?
For real,
Okay.
a rock.
Oh,
Yeah. Rock formation. Yeah. But
That's
you
not
can
in
see
Cambria, is it?
it. I don't know. She didn't put any descriptions on it either. So, but it obviously looks like it's a really chalky rock, right? Or something like that, or sandstone or bleached out from water.
Erosion.
Possibly at the beach.
Yeah, maybe. All right, this next image is John's. And the soft texture that's coming out of this one to me is the fog. And it's very ethereal looking. Feels very, very calm and nurturing. Next. And then Stephen Foreman, this was his dinner one night. It's Jell-O. It was dessert.
Under a microscope.
But the great textures on this are very soft and feeling warm. And I love the color on it as well. Next. And this is Marnes, and this is when she went, I believe, to Iceland with her family. But the waterfall is so dreamy and soft with all of those textures. And I don't think that this image would be as strong as it is without the people actually in the background.
Gives scale and those pops of color.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it makes you feel like you want to be there.
Uh-huh.
That's beautiful.
Next.
Oh.
And the soft textures of these flowers. This is by Amy.
Is that mine?
Yeah,
Oh, it is.
it is.
Yeah.
2014, you shot this.
I was doing some nice.
Good on you. Hi. Yes, I can send it to you if you want me to.
That water drops at the end. It's a significant.
Still organizing my Lightroom stuff for my big disasters. So it's like seeing all these things I don't even remember.
That's post discovering a spritzer, I see.
Yeah, well, I've been doing the spritzer for a long time. That's a signature with me.
Okay.
Water bottle.
All right, sharp textures, and that's going to be our last discussion tonight. Dark emotions, danger, fear, and aggression. Let's go to the next slide. This is Lonnie's on the texture surrounding this. To me, it gives me a very harmful, foreboding feeling. Like I'm not going through that door, you know. But it's a great study that he's done too. Next. This is Doug Buckley's, and obviously it's sharp textures and backlit. Definitely a fear. Like if I were to fall on that, I would be fearful.
Yeah.
So definitely strong feelings of fear here. Next. This is also Doug's. So the natural texture in the woods, not the woods, but in the rocks and the stream. And was this in like, where was this, Doug?
It was up in the Zion High Country.
Very nice. Next screen. And this is Catherine's. And you can see that it is clearly lit from the right? So on the right-hand side, you still see a lot of texture, but if you travel your eye to the left-hand side of the image, where the sun is not actually falling directly on the tree, you can see how that texture has a bit more, what am I trying to say, depth to it. Okay. So, oh, one more, that's mine. And that is just a black and white study of some cactus that were down the street from my house when I lived where you live. Next. Oh, I got myself out of order again, Steve. This is also Catherine's. I got a feeling it's taken from an airplane.
I hope so.
Yeah. But very sharp textures here. And it makes me feel really cold.
That blue.
But, yeah.
Textures and the color.
Blue, yeah. So there's a lot of emotion that comes through this picture. And that's it. There we go.
Nice.
And to end it all.
It's a really big end.
Very good.
Does anybody have any questions or anything?
No, it was really nice presentation.
Thank
Well, I
you.
certainly never really thought about colors and equating them to specific emotions like this.
Good.
It's very good. By the way, I saw Douglas Moody,
Oh, you did?
and yeah, he came in to get his vaccination, but he said he's moving up north.
Oh,
I just said that we tried to get in touch with him and he was surprised.
His daughter lives outside of, well, in a cabin outside of San Francisco area, up in the Bay Area.
Yeah,
So that would be a good move for him. You know, he's self-employed, so he
Yeah.
can do what he's doing from anywhere.
yeah.
So that's great. And Linda, any update on okay. Anyway, Robert Cruz, no update. Okay. Anyway, well, it was great to see you all.
Yeah, that was
Thank
good
you, Linda.
presentation.
Nice.
Great information, yes.
Yeah, I look forward to your next one.
Thank you. What do you want to hear the next time?
I'll just continue with these lessons that we're going through.
Thank you. Okay, I will.
You have those in order. I find those very, very helpful for me developing my photography skills, being a
Great.
newcomer.
Good. All right.
Almost an experienced photographer, but thinking about how composition, color, you know, the different aspects of making my photos better.
Well, thank you. Great. We'll do that.
The
So
next one will be the magic of light, right?
I'm gonna break it down like I did for this one. Like, you know, there are 10 rules of composition, and it's
Oh,
just
good.
much.
Good.
So I'm gonna break it down into a few more rules of composition, or I'm gonna do a few color of light. Yeah.
Fantastic.
That'll be great.
cool.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. I gotta get some dinner going.
And I got to take the
And
dog for a
tomorrow,
walk.
hey, guess what? It's supposed to be 76 here tomorrow.
Oh,
Wow.
good.
We've been down in the 40s here.
It is gorgeous.
We've been down to the
Oh,
40s.
yeah.
Oh, at night. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
very.
it was beautiful today.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was great. What my location, 64 right now, and it's 4 o'clock in the evening. So it was nice.
I have one question. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I have one question for John Boland.
Mhm.
Where are you going tomorrow?
No, I'm sorry about the Libby Desert. That was my daughter's idea. And it was their 50th anniversary and it just opened. You know, everything's been closed because of COVID. We said, oh, let's go down there. But I think, I have to say it was disappointing.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you don't have to apologize. It seems like you go somewhere exciting every day. You have inspired me. I'm trying to do a trip to the Huntington Beach Library. I've never been there.
Really?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
nice.
Wow.
I think they have a nice little garden outside that library too.
There's a whole park that surrounds it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's also a nature center over there across the street.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds like it might be almost an all-day.
Oh,
trip.
Yeah.
All of Charles Bukowski's writings are there too in the library.
Really?
Oh.
Wow.
We could
Oh.
have a round robin reading of Barfly.
And I'm almost ashamed to admit this. My wife and I were talking about this last night. And she's as enthused as I am, because you've all heard all about the places around the world I've been, but guess where I've never been? The Griffith Observatory.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I kicked myself because there's so many times I said, oh, I need to go there, need to go there. Well, now I've got my wife excited about it too. So
Oh yeah, it's a good day trip.
Check out the old LA Zoo while you're there.
Yeah, you can go to the zoo too, right there.
yeah,
That's
Got
great.
the old zoo, which was the abandoned zoo. That's a lot of graffiti on it right now, but there's a lot of the cages and stuff you can walk into with your camera. It's right on the road to Griffith Observatory.
And you can see how much you weigh in each of the 9 planets. You step on a scale, and you'll probably only weigh 30 pounds on the moon, but you'll weigh maybe 450 pounds I don't know, Pluto or Saturn or something like
Oh,
that.
my
But,
gosh.
yeah.
Well, I know what planet I want to live on then.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
See, what's wrong with me? I'm just on the wrong planet.
All right, night,
good.
night, everybody.
Okay,
Right.
night. See you
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you on Friday.
signing off.
So
Okay.
Friday we
Thank
have,
you.
okay.